Okay. It's October 2008, Sunday night. I log on to the Qantas website. No apps back then. I'll confirm my flight to Karratha for the next morning, get my seat allocation done, and it's time to go to bed. Monday morning rolls around. It's a 2-hour drive from the home to the airport because I'm in regional WA. I check the Qantas flight time before you leave home, print out the boarding pass, no changes. I arrive at Perth Airport. I wait in line. I'm going to get my ticket scanned. The air hostess turns to me and says, "Your ticket's been cancelled." I open up the laptop. I will try and log into my Rio Tinto account. Unknown user. So I call my supervisor up in Karratha, and he bluntly says to me, "Your services are no longer required. We'll empty out your locker, we're putting it in the post, we'll send it all back to you," and then just simply hangs up. No explanation. And literally that is how easy a FIFO job in Australia can be terminated. You have no union, no protection. When you're up there as a contractor, it's a fluid contract. You earn top dollar, you give a slice of that back to the contracting firm, but at the end of the day, you are just a number, not a human being. And with a financial global crisis, that's all you are, a number. Hi, I'm Jack. Welcome back. This channel is about life heading towards 60. I'm 53 years old. Retirement's clearly on my mind. I've been renting for 30 years. Money choices in Australia are as tough as anything at the moment with the cost of living. But that is life in Australia. This is the real stuff. This is not an AI farm. This is not an AI channel. I'm not mass producing AI crap. And today we're going to talk about the one most important thing in life, whether you're 20 or you're 80, and it's being flexible. And in particular, flexible when you retire. When you stop work for an employer who's paying you a wage, and you begin to become in charge of your own weekly paycheck. That's the biggest shift that most people ever admit to having to do. And there's two things I want to cover. One, your employment options. And these are employment options I've done in my life that anybody could reasonably do in retirement. Now, I did these ones that I'll talk about today when I was 35. It's not theory. It's things I've actually copped on to do. And two, a little investment plan that I'm looking into doing when I turn 60. Because renting isn't the only solution. There's a plan B that goes with plan A. And it's something you might want to sit with, maybe not copy, but just something that you might want to run your own numbers past. Because to me, it's one heck of a good idea. But first, I need to finish this 2008 story, because that's where flexibility for me stopped becoming a nice word and became the only way I could pay the rent and buy food. Right. So, Rio Tinto, 2008, global financial crisis. They terminate my employment. Literally, without a phone call, they terminated via an air hostess. I'm living 200 kilometres inland from Perth. It's a small town. Population well under 100. I think at the time about 65, even less now. There's absolutely no local employment to speak of, and no unemployment either. Everyone is either retired, which is about 80% of the town, or the scattering of people like myself who brought land there because it was cheap actually worked FIFO. And that's the bit people forget about mining jobs. You get the mining money, but when the mine turns the money off, they switch off that tap, the town doesn't have a plan B for you. So what do? I contacted the nearest rail depot. At this stage, I've been a train driver for 4 years. I had some sort of backing here. And yet, over 200 k's inland from there, I managed to secure a job over the phone, but I had to wait 6 months because that was when their next harvest time was starting for them. Now, that is a long summer between paychecks. So, I called Cooperative Bulk Handling. They run the grain silos in a 900 square kilometre radius around Perth. It's casual employment, and they offered me that on a weighbridge. But the supervisor there also put me in touch with Moondar Vineyards. It's a grape harvest job Goes for 3 weeks. It's all night work. You will start work at 8 o'clock and you'll finish at 6 in the morning, and you'll work 3 weeks without a day off. That was the plan. Weightbridge by night, Weightbridge by day, Vines by night, rail job in 6 months. It's survival with a diary and with a phone. And that's the lesson I carried forward in life. And it's one that actually matters in retirement. I wasn't building a brand. I was stacking cash flow for whatever honest and reliable place I could find it. It was casual. It was seasonal. It was delayed starts, different supervisors, different sites, different hours. In a wage job, flexibility is something HR put on a poster. In real life, flexibility is what you can do. Can you take that Weightbridge shift this week? And the following week, you're going to do harvest for a night. Then you're going to start up for a rail job in 6 months. If you only know one employer, one roster, one way, then when that money actually runs out, you're just really one phone call away from a silence, aren't you? You can be terminated without any qualms with this country. I saw that in COVID. I know lots of people that lost their jobs simply because they wouldn't get the jab. Union couldn't protect them. So don't guarantee yourself even in an EBA. All right. So what does it mean when you're heading towards 60 and the big full-time wage is about to wind out? And some of you might have done flexible work. You've gone part-time, I'm not telling you to go FIFO at 65. I'm only telling you to go FIFO at 25. But it is not worth the stress it puts on you and your family. I'm saying build a small menu of work you can actually do on your own terms. Whether you want income without handing your whole week back to a company, but you want to work for yourself. And here's the options that I did in my life. And I can map them clearly into retirement. I can map what I did in 2008 to do from 2033 to 2040 without any problem. It's not glamorous. It's doable. It's a casual site, an admin style. You could work in the Weightbridge, and what that taught me was something simple. The regional towns, the industrial places, they needed a reliable, mature human. Now, at that time, I was 35, but I wasn't an 18-year-old backpacker. And they had these 18 to 22-year-old backpackers working for them, who they couldn't even guarantee would turn up to work tomorrow, let alone be honest with the books or be accurate with the books. So then you got that weight of responsibility for your maturity. And at 60, you're a lot more mature. You keep the records, you keep them straight, you show up on time. You don't make drama, you don't have little Karen fits. And in retirement firms, that's called casual work. Now you can be a gatehouse-keeper or a leaf inventory here. You can work at the school crossings if you can. You do stop and go signs for the local shire. You're not climbing a corporate ladder. I could list jobs all day. I had a pamphlet delivery man who was well into his 80s dropping pamphlets in my letterbox today for Kmart. Your brain's got to just switch on. Gingin was a short harvest work. Grain sowers harvest work. Good money for defined windows. It's what it ends up being. Retirement loves defined windows. You could be fruit picking. You could do vineyard work. Tourist season. Go and work in a coastal town in tourist season. Christmas retail. If you can handle the crowds, the kids, and the noise in the city, Christmas retail jobs, especially out the back, they're everywhere. And census at the moment is everywhere. And I'm going to put some links down below too if you are actually looking for work. I've got work sites that you can go to. Yeah. So you're not signing yourself up or you're signing your soul away for a 11-month roster. You're taking this day by day, week by week, hour by hour. And that's retirement. And when most people hear that, they panic. But when I've actually lost a job and I've had 6 months till I've got a landing pad, all I had to do was fill in the gap. And it's not that hard to do. Now, in retirement, your part-time role could just be for a term, a contract, something that begins when somebody else finishes or you want a little bit of a break. Uber driving, Amazon warehouse out here at Derrimut, relief anywhere. And you're not looking for a 40-hour week job. You're just asking for a couple hours here, a couple hours there. Patience is a skill you have as you get older, and patience is the skill you need to do this. If you panic, it can be expensive. All right, so what skills you already have? you've got to sell them or package them up into small pieces. Now, I've driven trains. I've ran an eBay shop. I've worked in the mines. I can drive a forklift. I've worked in warehouses. I've even delivered pizzas. And I've delivered newspapers. The pattern is simple. Take a capability that you already own and sell it. You are your best salesperson, aren't you? Sell it in slices. Give it to whoever will listen to you. Don't look on the internet. Go knock on doors. That's why I keep saying to my daughter, talk to people. Don't talk on email. And you don't have to be a train driver. You can do bookkeeping. Small businesses want somebody who can just help them out with the records each week. A bit of filing here, a bit of filing there. Being courier work, not a cowboy running trucks from, Victoria to Queensland every night. Keep it simple. Keep it legal. Keep it boring enough so that you can actually sleep at night and not stress. And the rule I have in my head, if the work disappears on Monday, can I replace that income inside of 30 days with something else on a list? And if you answer no to that, then you're not being flexible yet. You're just being comfortable in your employment. And that's a risky thing to be. But comfortability is always fine, isn't it? Until that air hostess gives you your ticket back and says your job's cancelled. Just remember that. We are only a number. Okay, so the second half. And this is the bit that people have been commenting on my videos the last few weeks telling me that I shouldn't rent in retirement, I should get a mortgage. If I get sick, it's just as easy as getting a reverse mortgage so you can actually go and fix yourself and have a debt up here. No share market plan. This is just what I went in 2009, right? 2009, 5 months after losing my FIFO job, 1 month out from starting my new rail job, I went on a 2-week cruise. And we had this cruise booked while I was still in the mines, but I went on a 2-week cruise. I went to New Zealand, from Fremantle to Adelaide, to Melbourne, to Hobart, and then around New Zealand. It wasn't a flex. It was just a reset. The body was tired. The head was noisy. I'd had 6 months or 5 months of the Australian summer in the outback, working outside in weighbridges and harvest work. And the trip refreshed me. There's something I didn't expect happen. I was in Hobart. Brighton outside Hobart, but I saw trains in Tasmania. And this little brain, when it's nice and relaxed, does strange things. And I'm thinking, one day I'm actually going to come down here and drive trains in Tasmania. Wife just laughed at me, but I said, oh, we'll do it. Their family are from Tassie, my family are from Tassie, we'll find a way. And guess what? 3 years to the day, I was driving trains in Tasmania. Now, that's not something a guru is going to tell you to put on a spreadsheet. Just rest your brain. Let your mind relax. Let it wander a little bit. Slow down. And when you're age 60, I want to go on a holiday again. Not on one weekend. A proper reset. Let the brain chill. Go take a trip to Europe. I've not been there since 1989. I want a whole year of travelling around. Refresh the brain. Just chill. And maybe I might work when I'm there, but I doubt it. I'll work as a photographer while I'm there, and I make money occasionally from photography. But hear that wording. I'm going to work as a retiree when I come back. I'm not going to collapse into a chair and hope the calendar fills itself in or watch a big bash on TV when it's on. That's what I'm going to do in my 60s. I'm going to look at something simple with super. And I'm going to buy myself, this is at 60, I will buy myself a studio apartment. Yes, you're hearing this, people who have been telling me to get a mortgage. It's not flash. It's not going to be a trophy house. It's just going to be a small place. Very similar to the one on my video about Cambridge Street. If you go back and watch where I lived, and you can still buy them for under 300,000. That's the point. In my 60s, when my body is flexible, I want to travel, work, rent houses out, farmhouses, live in motorhomes, nomad-style. Be nomad on purpose, with no worry about I've got to get back to a job at the end of 4 weeks. But when I hit 70, I want a studio apartment somewhere. So somewhere in my 70s, when that body of mine's just not as flexible as anymore, I want a roof. Somewhere where I can just pull into, have a kettle, chill. And between 60 and whenever that is in my 70s, that place will be rented out and be giving me a small but cash income. Just a little bit of extra money, that being flexible. I will be happily renting left, right and centre from backpackers to caravan parks, but I won't be signing any leases for properties, that's for sure. I'm just going to keep the joints working while I can, keep the brain fed while it's going, and then 70-something, I just want to step into a studio. It's small, it's mine, it won't fit into anybody's empire building plans. But I'm just a bloke who learnt that at a Qantas a wage can simply vanish on a whim. And I just want more options like that. And when I'm finished up, I'm 70 going on 80, or whenever my brain's gone too much, and my daughter, when I'm 80, my daughter will be the same age I am now. Guess who gets that studio apartment? I'm leaving her an investment property so that if she's pushing into 60, she's in the same boat as me. She can go on a holiday, she can work, knowing that she's got a property to come back to. It's looking after your family. Now, that Europe year is the 2009 cruise all over again. It's a big mat. It's a big jobble. It's just resetting my mind first before that next chapter of work comes into play. I know that sounds all boring, and maybe it is out loud, but one train driver heading towards 60 is just thinking that way. And you might be thinking that way. It's not financial advice. It's not a signal to go out there and smash your super into a property of my own. I know you can buy property with your super, but I wouldn't do that. Your balance, it's your rent, it's your health, it's your kids. You've got a different spreadsheet to me, I know. But if you're moving real money, talk to a licensed person, okay? Check the rules. Rules apply differently to everybody. Just show some logic in your head and have a bit of a think. And what ties all this menu together? Well, it's simple. A decade of nomadic life, followed by a decade of steady life, really. A studio for a nomad to retiree. Can't ask for any more than that, can you? Maybe a few other little things. But so 2008, I had that phone call. 3 years. 2009, I had a cruise. Got an idea for Tassie. Went to Tassie. By my 60s, I'm doing all that again. I won't be driving trains to Tassie again. It's just a way to earn money, and there's endless. All right, so time is still the real currency, and I'm just trying to buy more time. The longer I'm working as a retiree, the healthier the body is. Not true? So October 2008 taught me I'm a number. I know that. The Weybridge, the Harvest, the Vineyard, the rail job, all these sort of things, they taught me that income can be built in a piece. Just little pieces. 2009 cruise taught me, rest your brain. A rested brain makes better decisions in the long term. And retirement, that's why I am at it. It's not stop forever on a Friday and hope and have a year to reset in Europe and then just go, I give up. No, I want to work. I want to be flexible. 10 hours a week is fine for me. Bunnings is hiring people in their 60s and 70s. They want the material people. And then that small studio, I'll have it in my 70s. My daughter will get it by the time she's 60. It's passing and on. And who knows what it'll be valued at when she's that age, 40 years from now. Rental houses, farm stays. I love motorhomes. Just something for me to cruise around in between different places when I'm in my 60s. And I'm going to talk in the next few days about retirees that I know and how they're living. So the next few videos, I know a person who has spent his entire life as a nomad and has never lived in a house. He was free, And I know retirees in their 60s who are happy for me to talk about them. So I'm going to talk more about them. I want you to drop me a comment. If you've lost a job, did you have a 30-day plan? What did you do in the first 30 days after you lost your work? What did you do in the first hour after you lost your work? That first few decisions you make can keep you sane. All right, hopefully you're awake, because awake is very useful. I'm Jack. I'm 53. I'm in Melbourne. We're not going to talk about renting every video. We're not going to talk about retirement every video. But I'm monetized. And those are the two things that earn me the most amount of money. Simple as that. But I do want to talk about life in my 50s. So stay safe, people. And I'm going to start talking to you while I'm driving my car. If you haven't seen my car, check out my short video. Ciao.